Former Representative Katie Hill is addressing the Matt Gaetz allegations. Now, of course, you might recall that back when she was facing calls to resign and did, he was one of the few that spoke out in support of her. Will she do the same? Well, let's see. So remember, back in 2018, she was a rising star in the Democratic Party and might come back at some point. She defeated a GOP incumbent in the LA area. 10 months into her term, a conservative site published allegations that she had a sexual relationship with a male congressional staffer that violated ethics rules. The site also accused Hill, who was openly bisexual, and her ex-husband of having a consensual three-way relationship with a woman on her campaign staff. So look, regardless of whatever you think about those allegations, they don't rise to the level of what Matt Gaetz is being accused of. It's at most an ethical issue involving workplace stuff. It's not federal sex trafficking laws that have been violated. Now that said, here is what she had to say, Katie Hill. Matt was the first member of Congress who publicly and unapologetically defended me, saying that while I might have made mistakes, I was a victim in this circumstance. At one of the darkest moments of my life, when I was feeling more alone than I ever had, Matt stood up for me, and that really mattered. Gaetz said at the time, "Who among us would look perfect if every ex leaked every photo text?" Katie isn't being investigated by ethics or maligned because she hurt anyone. It is because she is different. So he referenced there the leaked photos, and we've learned a lot about him and his own history of leaking photos. Well, here's what Katie Hill had to say. CNN reported that Matt had shown at least 2 lawmakers photos and videos of naked women. The women on his phone likely had no idea that the nude photos and videos they'd either privately shared or that he'd taken with or without their consent were being passed around and ogled by Republican congressmen. If true, Matt had engaged in the very practice he defended me from. Let me state it as clearly as possible. If, despite his denials, Matt Gaetz did have sex with a minor, if he did provide girls and young women with drugs and money and gifts in exchange for sex, if he did ask these girls and young women to recruit other women for the same purpose, and if he did show his colleagues images of nude women without their consent, he needs to be held responsible. Some of these actions are criminal and some of them should be. All are morally reprehensible and unacceptable for a lawmaker. If there is even a fraction of truth to these reports, he should resign immediately. So look, she didn't have to get involved in this, although I'm sure people were wondering, considering his past defense for her. But I think what she says, her expectations is perfectly reasonable. You don't have to be blindly supportive of someone when they're doing the thing that you were the victim of.
Yeah, I agree. And her having extramarital affairs or any type of relations with people who are consenting adults cannot be compared to someone who is participating in sex trafficking and pedophilia of some sort, or having an inappropriate relationship with a minor. And I think it's just unfair to even ask her that, or to put the mic in her face, which is a lot of times what people like to do to those who are in the marginalized groups, to ask them about how they feel about the empowered. Like, I don't know how it went down and how it ended up, being tossed to her. But I just think that it's not. Why are they asking her about this? Why are they always?
Well, she wrote the op-ed. It might have been in response to a request, but she did write an op-ed about it.
Oh, she wrote an op-ed. Okay, I'm ill-informed.
No,
so the fact that she, no. But the fact that she felt, compelled. I just don't. I'm just tired of people asking women about men's behaviors, asking Black people about white people's behavior, asking the undocumented about, the citizen people's behavior. I think you know what? If Matt Gaetz did something inappropriate with someone who's underage, his ass needs to go. And I just think that we just need to just face that, and we need to just get down. Like, we politicize everything at this point now, that people are not held accountable for breaking the law. And it's just like, what kind of example do we send to the rest of the country when people who are the lawmakers, the people who are in the positions of where they are supposed to be writing the laws, enforcing the laws, are not held accountable to the laws? It causes lawlessness throughout the land, and we have a serious problem right now.
100%. We'll see. Things are developing fast. We'll see if his little op-ed actually changes anything.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.